All right, we are live. Welcome back to another episode of Ask a Clutter Boss. If you're joining me live, just let me know in the comments if you can actually hear me. I have a fancy new microphone set up and I have no idea if it works or not. So we're testing this. Oh, nice. We got lots of people watching here. So if you can hear this, just leave a comment. Okay, so this is Tuesday, April 30th. And I am Jess Marcy. I am your clutter boss for today, answering the questions that you have submitted this week. Dawn, thank you for the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Mary, excellent, excellent. All right. So, question number 1. We have, as usual, some great questions here. I am considering what to do with the extensive collection of photographs left behind by my parents, who both passed away 3 months ago. Both my dad and I were passionate about photography, and I have a vast collection of photos. Since I don't have any siblings to share them with, I'm contemplating scanning them and distributing them to distant relatives like second or third cousins on thumb drives. I just don't see any future in keeping photos, or am I wrong? Please let me know how to best handle this. So, yes, photos are an interesting thing because we have such a huge amount of photos that we take now, more than ever before. It is really helpful to think about what is your end game with your photos. If you have a digital collection of tens of thousands of photos, what's going to happen with them after you pass? Like, what is your end game? I agree that there's no real reason to keep a lot of photos if you have nobody specifically to pass them on to. And I also agree that the best thing to do with your photos, if you want to pass them on to anyone, is to digitize them. Digitize them and put them into a single platform. So, like any other collection, you want to make sure that your photos are all stored together in a single location. So Google Photos is a great place to keep photos. Highly recommend that. Yeah, so definitely, definitely that is what I would do with your photo collection. Digitize it, and then it's very easy to share with anyone. Question number 2. So thank you for that great photo question. Question number 2. I know that everything ends up in a landfill eventually, but do we just throw our VHS tapes into the garbage? I looked a month or 2 ago, but I can't find a local place to have them recycled. So VHS tapes are very difficult to dispose of. They're actually considered electronic trash. So you want to find a place that will, if possible, like if you have a place that deals with electronic garbage, electronics, that sort of stuff, you would ideally recycle them there. That being said, I did a ton of research on this. I could not find a single recycling center that specifically takes VHS tapes. The issue with the VHS tapes is the tape that's inside of them has metals kind of like embedded in the tape. And that's the hazardous waste part of it. So I don't really have a good best answer here. Unfortunately, as with a lot of trash, there's not a perfect solution. Call your local recycling center, see if they have electronics recycling for VHS tapes. If they don't, you could try removing that tape, but of course you don't want to handle it either because it does have those metals in it. So just notes. It may be that it has to be tossed into the trash and it's not a good solution, but it is the only solution that I think is available for most of us. So pretty frustrating. I also saw a lot of people say you can donate them. I do not know a single place that you can donate VHS tapes to. Yeah, you can try Best Buy. I actually didn't specifically look up Best Buy, but that is possible. Usually places like Staples and Best Buy, they only recycle what they sell. And if they don't sell VHS tapes, they may not recycle them. So worth a phone call, but not worth spending hours and hours on because the answer might be that there is just no good solution. Okay. Since January, I have decluttered a lot, but my house is still a mess. I have to face that I still need to see my stuff. Out of sight is out of mind for me. Do you have any tips for those of us whose houses are significantly decluttered, yet still look cluttered? I think that we tend to think of the decluttering process as a lot of a quicker process than it actually is. Usually, decluttering takes a really long time. So it took years to accumulate our clutter. It's going to take years to de-accumulate our clutter. I would say if your house is still feeling cluttered, you're just not at the end yet. So just keep pushing forward. Everyone has their own idea of what feels cluttered to them, like what they're comfortable seeing in terms of clutter. And just get to the point where you feel comfortable with the amounts of clutter that you have or the amounts of stuff that you have. Push yourself towards that endpoint, and you will be, ultimately successful if you keep pushing forward. And finally, the last question today was submitted by one of my coworkers. I don't consider myself cluttery, but I look around and I see piles of stuff gathering everywhere. This pile came from my car. This pile came in from my son's backpack. How do I deal with the piles of stuff? So if you've been around here for a while, you know the saying, don't let a drop zone become a stay zone. This is maintenance, and maintenance is really developing habits, the habit of tackling those drop zones on a regular basis, daily, weekly. Just don't let a drop zone become a stay zone. If it comes in from the car, make sure that you take that next step, maybe not right away, but within a reasonable amount of time, and get it distributed to where it needs to go. So, some great questions this week. And thank you so much for tuning in, finding us over on YouTube. I look forward to the next Ask a Clutter Boss, same time, same place next week. Have a great day, everyone.